In Indica, Greek physician Ctesias describes the wondrous land now known as India, where trees grew to staggering heights, elephants roamed the jungles, and a race of dog-headed people inhabited the lofty and inaccessible mountains. They speak no language but bark like dogs, and in this manner make themselves understood by each other. They understand the Indian language but are unable to converse, only barking or making signs with their hands and fingers by way of reply.
Notice they're talking hands and fingers, not paws.
Of course, the infamous John Mandeville also published an account of the cynocephaly in his travels, which circulated in the mid to late 1300s. This account is more similar to Ctesias in that the cynocephaly are described as intelligent and reasonable, even devout, with the only odd characteristic being that they tend to eat their prisoners of war. After that isle go men by the sea ocean, by many isles, unto an isle that is clept Nakumera, that is a great isle, and good, and fair, and all the men and women of that isle have hounds' heads, and they be clept cynocephalies, and they be full reasonable and of good understanding.
Now, St. Christopher is not only said to be a dog-headed being, but also a giant being. A giant so big that part of the reason he became a saint is because he was carrying people across this river because he was so tall in it that he could carry people on his shoulders. And it was even said that he helped carry Jesus across when Jesus was a child. So up until this point, I've only presented you evidence from other people, other people's stories, other people's maps depicting these beings. But this is where I come in. This is where I seal the deal and hopefully open your eyes to the fact that not only did these exist, but they existed on a stature bigger than your wildest dreams. What I want to first remind you of is there have been giants here. The Bible talks about it, and we see evidence all around us. Evidence of the mountain literally being petrified giants, titans, in fact. And let me also remind you that not only were there giants, but there was wickedness in those days. There was cannibalism, and there was hybridization of humans and animals. And this is where I really step in. I had heard that this giant cave that resembled a dragon was in Egypt, so I wanted to explore Egypt.
I was just looking at this cave before making this video. I kid you not. I saved the picture because it was so wild. We're going to jump back on this one after this video. Got my notes, my handy dandy notepad.
G-Fiber's network is built to stay up even when the power goes down. But your home's router is another story. That's why G-Fiber offers in-home battery backup so your Wi-Fi stays on even when your lights go off. G-Fiber, internet for whatever life brings.
Good afternoon. My name is Jordan. My name is Joe. I'm Ethan, your Army certified technician. I'll be working on your vehicle today. Front brakes are right around 30% life. We'll send you over a quote for that. Find that your left rear tire has 80% life left. Left rear suspension's in good shape. Your service writer will be with you shortly, and I thank you for your time.
But instead of finding this, I found something much, much bigger. I found the literal corpse of petrified Anubis right in the middle of Egypt, shown here with his head even down to mouth and nose. Now you might not see it at first, but let me just make it a little more clear. We have his mouth here and his nose, his eyeball, his whole head here obviously, neck down to his body and torso, and he even has a tail. And when compared to some images of Anubis, you can see they look pretty similar. But there's a smoking gun, and I'm about to show it to you. You see, even in the hieroglyphics, Anubis is depicted with this. And sometimes that is in his staff, kind of like in this hieroglyph. And even in cartoon images, he's depicted with it. And I don't know about you, but what I see in that staff, I see right here, even with its long, straight, petrified staff. Now, if that's not a smoking gun, telling you that this is actually the Egyptian demigod Anubis, I don't know what is. Now, I went on to find some even crazier anomalies in this terrain, like this bird-looking creature right here, and this owl-looking one right here that I'll show you in a second. But let me also point out his tail. It comes down and around. And it just so happened that I found a bird hieroglyph that looks very similar to that bird outline in the terrain of Egypt. And even though this one's harder to see, also an owl in the terrain of Egypt with its face being right there. It's the dark outline there. And all of them, bird, owl, and even possibly Anubis in one giant hieroglyph. And I don't know about you, but that head looks awfully small for that body. Kind of like it was an afterthought. Kind of like originally, maybe it was something different. Now, luckily for me, you can explore this yourself. All you have to do is take a little trip to Egypt and see what you see. Now, I know this is a whomper of a tale, but I think I've provided you some pretty solid evidence to at least open your mind to some of these things. And maybe next time I'll talk about this giant-looking platypus thing that's 3 times the size of Anubis, also in Egypt. That's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my tale of entertainment. Of course I know there's no such thing as dog-headed creatures. No, we just live in this physical world where only humans have evolved from apes and live on a spinning planet and Big Bang happened. Yeah, all that stuff. Just for entertainment purposes. You guys know I'm a satire account. Have a great day. What if?
We're gonna go through this one back slowly, just to really break it down. Saint Christopher, okay? This is the first time I've ever heard. I really don't know about Saint Christopher like that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know about the prophets, Yehukanan, Moses, possibly Shaul. I know about them. It's just Saint Christopher. I've never heard of. I'm not saying I don't see the Anubis, because if we go back to Egypt, when they say these cynocephalous people, the first thing I'm thinking is this has to be some creatures beyond the wall. This has to be on some type of land, or they got eviscerated with the Ice Age. I don't know, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind of where these guys could possibly be at if they're real. Look at the map. Pierre the Sellers 1550 world map. This is going to be a juicy one. I have to cover this. I can't look away. This is disturbingly interesting, guys.
And a race of dog-headed people inhabited the lofty and inaccessible mountains. They speak no language but bark like dogs, and in this manner make themselves understood by each other. They understand the Indian language but are unable to converse, only barking or making signs with their hands and fingers by way of reply.
Yeah, and if we look here, we can see the hand signs going on, okay? Bro is serious. Look at him. This isn't a game. This might have really happened, because look how serious he's looking. Like, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? I get it. The fallen angels was doing gene experiments. They're doing different gene slicing. They was getting a CRISPR on. I get it back in the day, the fallen angels. So to think that was happening, this ain't that far-fetched. So that's why I'm like, damn, did this really happen?
And reasonable, even devout, with the only odd characteristic being that they tend to eat their prisoners of war. After that isle go men by the sea ocean, by many isles, Nakumera, that is a great isle, and good and fair, and all the men and women of that isle have hounds' heads, and they be clept cynocephalles, and they be full reasonable and of good understanding.
Now, St. Christopher is not only said to be a dog-headed being, but also a giant being. A giant so big that part of the reason he became a saint is because he was carrying people across this river.
No, I get giant people in the day. So it's not that far that there were giant people back in the day. Alright, this is what I was waiting on. Oh, look at this. You can see the literal dog shape that he was referring to. The nose, the snout, the eye, the ears. But the ears might have been a little pointy. If I'm not mistaken, jackals, have pointy ears, right? So this is more like a flap down.
Shown here with his head, even down to mouth and nose. Now, you might not see it at first, but let me just...
But you can see the staff right here. Crazy. That's crazy work, though. What are the odds of having a dog-like head and a staff for Anubis, though? What are the odds? The circle, the cross, then downwards. You know, that is tough. Let me know your guys' thoughts below on that. But let's finish this one off because it's this is highly interesting. Shout out to Roger at Mud Fossils. You know, he be on his giant Earth stuff Titans too. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he says, but they're interesting nevertheless.
Get a little more clear. We have his mouth here and his nose, his eyeball, his whole head here, obviously, neck down to his body and torso, and he even has a tail. And when compared to some images of Anubis, you can see they look pretty similar.
I can see the nose now. I can see it, but these pointy ears are prominent. You know, if it had the pointy ears, that would sell it 100%. You know, but the staff and the dog-like structure next to it again is, what are the odds of that? Is that a coincidence or what?
One wrong move and it's back to the start. But every win feels amazing. Play free on phone or computer, and prove you can adapt to anything. Play now on playgamma.com.
Eat so much dance, probably. And today we use librarian on timbre. Get to it, man. Yes, sir. See, what you feeling today, Wolves?
Man, I'm feeling like, well, first off, I want to check out the source that we got here. Okay, this is all new to me, okay?
Timbre, oh, that is dope, yo.
Fire.
Already looking neat.
That's crazy. It's good. Let me just click 3 things. Some boots and cats and boots.
But there's a smoking gun. I don't know about to share it to you. You see, even in a hieroglyphics, Anubis is predicted with this, because sometimes that is in a scan, kind of like it's this hieroglyph. And even in cartoon images, he's depicted with it. And I don't know about you, but what I see in that staff, I see, or I see, even with these long, straight, petrified staff. Now, if that's not a smoking gun, tell me that this is actually the Egyptian demigod of Anubis. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I literally don't know what to say. That is beyond.
Telling me that this is actually the Egyptian demigod of Anubis. I don't know what it is.
Guys, I literally.
Petrified staff. Now, if that's not a smoking gun, I see in that staff. I see even with its long, straight, petrified staff. Now, if that's not a smoking gun, tell me that this is actually the Egyptian demigod of Anubis. I don't know what it is.
Guys, I literally don't know what to say. That is beyond fascinating. I can't, you know, I'm very interested in your guys' thoughts on that. Let's see what the comments are. All of these creatures that are true or foreign species or terrifying humanoids are creations of Satan himself and the fallen kingdom. Satan gave the master its god leader of a reptilian race. They are masters of science and genetics. The other one said hybrid. This is why the earth was flooded in the last time. The fallen angels messed with the DNA. That's why the Bible is full of genealogy and why Jesus was a spotless lamb. He was not of hybrid blood, but a pure human. It was a rare accident. I'm with you on a lot of stuff, man, but honestly, I feel like I want to find something in everything you do. I take that same image and make it into 20 different images.
think they would have left their guy laying on the ground like that if the news was real and it did exist. And if he did die, that would have worshipped the body trying to bury him in a huge tomb. They wouldn't just leave him to be fossilized in the ground. My question is, how are you going to keep that thing up? You know? And it's another. Has ever giant creatures that big? You know, what's to say that a giant dragon wouldn't start eating them? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, these things were 20 to 50 feet high, not thousands of feet tall. That would be outrageous. You couldn't sustain a life that big. Think about how much thousands of feet tall that would be to eat and drink and how much oxygen you would need to breathe. It doesn't work. That's what they're saying. You know, but you gotta think we're just in the inner part of Earth's realm. You know, so there's no saying how big this realm actually is. So it's I'm in the middle, I'm neutral. I see what the comments are saying about that last video, but at the same time I see what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff. There were titans back in the day. Giants, you know? But something that big on that level, you're not looking down at people like the grasshoppers. People are looking down at them like they're ants. You know, like really small ants. They said grasshoppers, not ants. You know, so that's another one. Yeah, let me know y'all talking about that. Sorry I took so long guys on this specific one, but I had you guys more so than you to cover up that as a matter of fact. I'm not mad at him for that. You know, I love looking at disturbing and stuff like that, you know, pretty images, you know, so it's like real. But it's like a snack. Everything's snack. Cyanocephaly is a mythical trait where a person has the head of a dog, or jackal. The word really means dog head. Flying within the body with a dog's head. This mythological concept appeared in stories and legends from various cultures, including ancient Egypt, India, Greece, and China. So the Michigan dogman was a creature allegedly seen in 1887 by two lumberjacks. So it was described as a 7-foot tall, bipedal creature with canine-like features, blue or amber eyes, the torso of a man, and a terrifying howl that sounds like a human scream. According to legends, the Michigan dogman appears every 10 years, specifically near ending instead of studies mostly happen in the northwestern part of the Michigan Peninsula. Believers say that clapping can scare the dogman away. In 1937, in Michigan, Robert Fortney claimed he was attacked by 5 wild dogs. And one of them lost 3 trees, but other similar findings have been reported throughout the year. In Wisconsin, the beast was being given to a wolf-like creature, but has been reported near Elkhorn, Galway County. It is also described as a 6 to 7 foot tall creature with a human body from the church, with a flat head, and large glowing red body. Cyanocephaly is believers say that clapping can scare the dogman away. And then clapping? Are you serious? Clapping? Oh, God. That kind of reminds me of it. I was not expecting that, so I was just trying to play that video. But, you know, shout out to David Sparrow for that video. He said me that. King, well, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Probably like stretching your arms out. Like, yeah, that's what I was just going to do. You know what I'm saying? My man started crying. So then you should have timed it like he had a cemetery or something, you know? Like that was going to make the second. It seems like a fair just ridiculous. That's why, you know, you say you get attacked by a rough man and, you know, you start clapping, that ain't working here. I would have been good. My question is, why would our ancestors draw this in the first place? That's my question. You know, so it makes you think that these ancient drawings might have some type of validity. You know, they can communicate with hand signs, you know, whatever. That's a difficult topic.
From the internet providers that sends out now, even our data sponsor, G-Fiber, new name, same team, same extraordinary experience. Check your address.
This is a from the mobile or seven. This right here is safest first. These are part of bachelors, applications, storm, as well as these government, second class, and features. It's term is not only for all our more than 300, some say his original names were those of 60. He is described as being about 7.5 feet tall, with a fearsome face. He was determined to serve the greatest king of all, and began working for the king of Ghana, which was his homeland. While serving the king, though, he noticed that when someone would mention the name of the devil, the king would make a sign of the cross. He always thought that if the king was afraid of the devil, that must mean the devil was greater, so he decided to serve the devil. One day he came across a pack of robbers traveling on the road, one of which claimed to be the devil himself. The robbers watched as the devil refused to walk on the side of the road and had a cross drawn on the ground. This led him to believe that Christ was greater than the devil. He went in search of Christ, wanting to serve him as the greatest king of all. While looking for Christ, he met a hermit in baptism, and he taught him all about Christ. His ministry as a Christian was to help people across a very dangerous road, where many people died in their attempt to reach the other side. Due to Christopher's size, crossing the river was much less of a challenge for him, and he was able to safely see travelers across the raging river who were struggling to cross. One day, a small child came to the bank of the river and asked Christopher to help him cross. Christopher picked up the child and began carrying him on his shoulder through the water. But as Christopher walked, the child got heavier and heavier as he was made of lead. Christopher could barely carry the small child who weighed so much. Upon reaching the other side, Christopher watched the child and he grown quite heavy as he carried him. The child then revealed himself to be the Christ child, or Jesus as he was a baby. And that weight he felt was the weight of the entire world on his shoulders. Then the Christ child told Christopher to fix his staff in the bank of the river and come back tomorrow to see what had occurred. This would be a sign to Christopher that the child was truly Christ. Because when he came back the next day, the staff had become a palm tree bearing fruit. It is because of this experience that Christopher got his name, where Christopher means Christ bearer. After the Senate occurred, Christopher went to the towns of Lacia and brought the Christians into being martyred for their faith. The king attempted to get Christopher to worship the pagan gods, but Christopher refused. His steadfast faith converted many to the faith. The king ordered that Christopher should be martyred, and after many attempts at his life, he was beheaded. St. Christopher had become a soldier for the faith, burned his conviction to the very end. He died at 251 AD. So these are two prayers from St. Christopher. The one on top is actually for traveling protection. So if you're traveling ever and you want to get protected, you pray that. And then the bottom is the baby. And in Russia, they have a really cool relic of stone that actually is on there and display. It's the same Charles on the level, but it's
that prayer? It's definitely interesting. So take a look at one of the most interesting and bizarre individuals in human history, Christopher, the dog and the king. Saint Christopher was born sometime in the 18th century in what is now modern Israel. It is said that he was a giant man like a lion. He stood between 7 and 8 feet tall and was incredibly strong. As a young man, Christopher dreamed of serving the most powerful king in all the land, which he thought was the king of the Canaanite. One day, Christopher saw the king shepherd in fear when someone mentioned the name of the devil. Thinking that the devil was some great ruler from tiresome fear and people, Christopher sought to serve him instead. Christopher soon came across a band of robbers. Their leader claimed to be Lucifer himself, and he invited Christopher to serve him. Christopher followed the robbers until one day they passed by a cross which caused the devil to run in fear. So Christopher asked him what was wrong with him, caused him to flee. So Christopher left him.
Sorry, but one flaw
System is also known for showing that if you want to serve Christ, you should use its incredible strength to help people fall asleep in the rhythm nearby. Christopher did this for years until eventually he was readvised on how to sleep fast. He put the child on his shoulders, but found that he was incredibly heavy to lift. So much so that they almost drowned together in the river. When they eventually made it across, the child revealed himself to be Christ and told Christopher to go celebrate his Savior. He was preparing to remind even on eventually made the same thing that happened in the church. But that doesn't answer why he was depicted as having the head of a camel. St. Christopher was a Canaanite. The Canaanites were often described as being barbaric and animalistic. The drawing of the non-attachment which conveyed was followed by the red shoes and followed.
Yeah, it really has a strong defender. It really does. This is monster. It started to get got. Why, I'm telling you what.
First day to work, I clock in, turn on my scanner, all the scanner ready. I just go from side to side. I'm driving the box to the scanner, and I'm driving all head up around the thousand factors tonight, up to the 50 average. Sometimes I want to get another team, take the package, and I'm 50 pounds, and I'll get some of them. The package I have a call, it's a part of the very way to get soda. Some of the benefits are tuition reimbursement, discovery of advance and opportunity, and today very spot. My favorite part is the fast-paced environment. Time what you thought about when you did. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about jobs and FedEx, click here. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch more cool videos just like this. Amazing. I'll see you in the This is according to Tambo, Ruins of Earth. And according to the mainstream, these massive, giant staircases and steps were built by the Inca. And they are terraces for agriculture along across the land. But based on research I've been doing, it seems like the Inca found these giant steps here to build a city above them. They built temples and structures around these steps. So what I think these are, I think these are probably a handful of the giant staircases. They are a bleacher or stadium system for a handful of giants. So who knows what the netful we're watching? And if these are steps, what do we need to? What's up? What was up here before the sea?
Damn, that's absolutely crazy. A stadium for giants, they can say it. Wow.
You know, there are smaller staircases, I'll show you some photos in between these. And back in the day, there was blood. You see the river. Moving amongst these, they're probably sleep or whatever. And they built these massive staircases for bleachers so you can watch the entertainment. Now, I got no problem with saying that the Inca turned these huge natural staircases into farming areas. I got no problem saying that. It's very logical. It makes sense. Let's fly over the field, throw some dirt on it, throw some seed, throw some crops right there. And you can access it through these other small huge staircases. But how did they build this new technology? How did they get these flat like that? How did they flatten the rock down like that? And this is maybe the worst part. She's old. They just had a lot of time and a lot of people they did it pull it off. But let me show you something else. What about something like this? You have a flat size and perfectly jointed blocks together. You got like sharp angles. How did they do this one technology? How did they do that? This is a huge stone. How did they put this in place? We don't mention a lot of numbers. It's an explanation as to how they pull this off. This first, they carved stone into large blocks using different tools. Then they transported the blocks up to the mountain using a set of pulleys and ropes. Then, what's the system? What is the contraption that they use with pulleys and ropes to get all those rocks up there? They, I need more information on that. Finally, they fit the blocks together using a technique called ashlar. In which the blocks are cut into interlock from the ones around it. How do they cut
rocks. How they cut? They're saying cut. They're saying cut. How did they get the rocks to look perfect? That just perfect look.
That Tetris perfect look. They had some type of ancient laser technology, or they harvested energy from the sun and was able to beam it down. That's how they get all those melted rocks. I don't know how they did it. But they did something to the sun. If you had to ask me, figure it out. Including harness some type of solar ray technology to slice these rocks.
How did they do this? How did they lift these? Was it just a bunch of dudes that lift this up and those into place like that? How did they cut them to be square? How did they cut them to be square like that? No technology. I believe that they may have had abilities back then. Earth bending, sound ability, using sound to shape things.
Then he took it a step further. He said, "Earth bending." Nah, I don't know about that. I don't doubt it, but I like the technology way more because we saw all those ancient structures in India. They were doing something.
Maybe even later technology. Like that Avatar stuff, fire bending, earth bending, water. I think, where do you think they get those ideas from? They get it from probably reality. Who knows what humans were able to do back then? Who knows? I don't know about you. That looks like a.
We see what Moses did. He split the water. You know what I'm saying? That was Moses, right? It's been over. Yeah, Moses. Yeah, he split that Nile, didn't he? He did.
A bleacher situation. This seems like a stadium for the Giants. And that giant Nephilim stuff, that's all biblical stuff, man. And they're trying to hide the fact that Giants existed because it points to the Bible. It points to the creation account where the fallen angels, the 200 waters, came down and spent quality time with the human beings and created giants, Nephilim, giants, and titans. And this, to me, seems like this is for some giant folks. It's like staircases or a bleacher auditorium system for Nephilim. And they've certainly found giant footprints around the world. This is in South Africa. But giants did exist. I made other videos about that. You can go check them out. See that? That's a giant footprint. Oh, they carved that. They just carved it. Why? Why would they carve that? Well, what's the point of carving that? That's a giant Nephilim footprint. And all this stuff up here. Like, look at this. It's like a wall. And all those door window opening areas way up top. My finger is not really pointing at it. How do they move those numbers? How do they do that? Is this giants? Is this Nephilim? Or do they have a system of holy ropes? Come on, man. Explain it. The point of this video is to get you to open your eyes and question the mainstream and doubt the information that they're telling you. Because this right here looks suspiciously Nephilim-like. Okay? And they don't want you to know that giants and Nephilim exist or existed because they will point straight to the Bible. And the Bible obviously points to God. And God being Jesus Christ. And they don't want you to know that Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord. And that's why they hide all this biblical stuff. That's why they hide the fact that they're in this flag. But it all points to Jesus. Okay? So that's the whole point of this. Question the mainstream. Question the matrix. They're trying to trick you. They want you to think that Christianity is a religion, when in fact, it's actually the truth. This is the...
I like him, man. I go by William. If you want to check out more of him, he's a pretty cool dude, man. He'll probably get tired of me, so I'm like, all right, say it one more time so I get it.
Have you heard of the living God in the Malur temple of India? Yes, there is a statue of Lord Narasimha, the half-man, half-lion deity, and he is said to be alive. But how is this even possible? According to the temple priests and even the local villagers, they examined the statue closely and insist that the skin of the so-called stone idol is actually soft and warm to the touch. Let that sink in. Stone feeling like real skin and flesh. how can this be? Experts continue to insist it's just a stone sculpture, but locals aren't convinced. They believe it's not ordinary stone at all, but a mud fossil, a petrified ancient body of the god himself, waiting silently. And what's more chilling? They say he can come alive and begin walking anytime. Why do we keep hearing about these strange and ancient legends in India? Is there something more?
Shout out to Kareem Mohan for that creepy theory. Those statues actually being live at one time? I wonder what it feels like touching that one little spot that they kept jabbing at. Is that skin that didn't get touched by the petrification? Oh man, somebody hit the jackpot. But that gold is probably cursed. Oh, look at those extraordinary golden statues. Dang. Are these fake or are they real? They look real to me. They got this inside of some hidden cave. Oh, man. Is it real or is it fake? And what is your favorite piece? That Anubis goes crazy. These three right here are extraordinary. That's made out of pure gold. Man, dude, how much would all this be worth? And will it carry some type of Egyptian, curse on it if you touch it or something? This next segment is called The Simpsons Already Knew. It's almost like the people that write The Simpsons are connected to these different events. What? How disturbing. I guess they don't call it watermelon for nothing. Do people even use those anymore? Wow, that's the same exact dress. Jeez.
Monty.
Unbelievable that is.
Joshua Monty.
This last one is diabolical. What exactly are they trying to do with these different events? Who's actually writing behind The Simpsons that predicts all this?
Yeah. This one's for my girl. We ain't perfect, but this love's real. Me and my girlfriend, yeah, we fight all the time. Someone had asked AI, what does the universe truly look like? And they wanted a picture. No. And this is what they gave me. Now, hold on real quick. I zoomed in on this shit. Now, I want y'all to peep this shit. This is like a different realm right here, right? And then you have a realm right here. Peep this, though. This is supposed to be all of the different, like, star systems or whatever. But you know what I noticed in this shit, y'all? How there's boundaries. And how there's a flat plane right there. You can see that, right? Bye. Now, you know they be trying to tell us, bro. That's what AI is meant to do. Artificial intelligence. They're telling us that there are beings on the outside of this skirt that's looking inside, bro. Look, you can even see that there's cities and everything on the outside. And then if you look at the picture different, is looking inwards. It's not a circle, like they're looking inwards, you know. I've been trying to tell you.
It's almost like it was showing the separation of different realms. Here's a compilation of recent UFO orbs, some type of sightings going on around the world. If this is a star zoomed in, look at how it just is like reflecting on water. Could these be the orbs all the way zoomed in is the question. This camera, you can see how they're all the way zoomed in. The star figure. What is going on here? Dang, this one has something orbiting, some type of generation going on in the middle. We got a fluorescent yin-yang. This is getting out of control. Almost like two dots in face. Interesting. This one is, they're all extremely eerie. It gives you an eerie vibe, like you're deep, deep, deep underwater. Dark Waters 9. Several UFOs formation filmed in Ohio. Look at it, look like the Little Dipper for a second. What type of symbol?
1, 2. It's not here, but those are not here. And like I said, I'm recording this through my iPhone. I'm moving the camera like this. These objects are, they look to be round shaped, and it's really weird. It's like a fleet. They're not weather balloons, they're not planes. Definitely not helicopters or drones. Holy. Did you see this? Look at the speed of that thing did. This is insane. What the fuck? It disappeared.
One just took off and shot to the left. Did you see that? It just went.
Oh my god. What did I just video? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. What was that?
Para mucho más contenido, sígueme en mi canal de YouTube, OVNIs Reales.
I'm losing my mind. Oh my god.
For a second, it looked like they went right through the moon, didn't it? It looks like they're still having operations to the moon, but they're not telling anybody. What exactly is going on?
In the sweltering heat of July 1986, a construction crew near the town of Guanghan in Sichuan province, China, were digging a ditch for a power line when they discovered something extraordinary. Beneath the clay lay a pit, stuffed to the brim with mysterious bronze statues with staring eyes and twisted grins. Realizing this was no ordinary find, they called the local museum. And what happened next would rewrite history as we know it. Archaeologists quickly descended on the site and uncovered two massive sacrificial pits. And inside, along with the bronze masks, was a remarkable amount of ivory and something else of value. Something which matched nothing of any known Chinese dynasty to date. No writing, no graves, and no records. It seemed like this ancient civilization, now known as Sanqing, had just suddenly vanished without a trace.
The line for that escalator was too long after WrestleMania. Now guy is going viral for being out of shape and drunk. They were going to start chanting one more time. One more. If he would have did it if everyone started chanting that positive energy and vibes, he would have powered through.
I buy this and connect it to my TV, I can watch channels just like I used to with cable? Yes, bro, exactly right. It's an HD digital antenna. It doesn't need Wi-Fi, and you don't even need a smart TV. Just plug it in, and the channels will appear right on your screen. I haven't paid a cable bill in months, and I don't miss it one bit. If you're tired of that ridiculous cable bill, I'll leave the link because this thing is selling like crazy right now. Free shipping, limited time flash sale. If you're thinking about getting one, do it now because stock is almost gone.
Of all the tools we use, our most powerful tool is understanding when he feels something.
The exact reasons why it sank are still up for debate, but it's clear that the city was lost to the sea. Eventually, it became a bit of a myth. But then in 2000, an underwater archaeologist named Frank Gaudio came across something while searching for the lost city of Alexandria. What he found were these massive statues, ancient ships, and sunken temples. The city had been buried under about 10 meters of water. The exact reasons why it sank are still up.
Look at it. It looks just like a Mayan pyramid, doesn't it? You discovered something. No one has no idea. Well, tell us where they filmed it. This would be scary to see while out hiking.
Are you going to see it on the picture? Yes.
I tell you. This is good. What?
We better run. Bigfoot teleporting nowadays. This man was digging in the garden of his house and found this.
After a sinkhole opened up near the pyramid, archaeologist Sergio Gomez Chavez and his team discovered a tunnel that had been sealed for over 1,800 years. And inside they found all kinds of offsprings, crocodile teeth, jaguar statues, and crystals shaped like eyes. But the weirdest find was a model of mountains with pools of liquid mercury to represent the lakes. The walls were covered in pyrite, which would have made the place look like it was sparkling under the bright light. See, Teotihuacan was built to represent the three layers of the universe: the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. This tunnel was made to represent the dark, watery underworld, the place where life and death intersected. After a sinkhole opened up near the pyramid, what a spectacle that would be, seeing all the crystals dazzle. Speaking of crystals, if you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, perfect deep bright red commodity raspberry calcite in a geode. This is in Tucson, Arizona, but I believe it was found in Pradesh, India. Extraordinary. You can see the crystal. You can see the. It's almost like a white sun on top of a red cube-like structure engulfed in this crystal-like geode. If I had to name this piece, I would name it raspberries. Structure engulfed in this crystal-like geode. If I had to name this piece, I would name it raspberries. Relative to structure engulfed in this crystal-like geode. If I had to name this piece, I would name it raspberry snowball. How extraordinary. You can see the crystal.
See the? It's almost like a white sun on top of a red cube-like structure engulfed in this crystal-like geode. If I had to name this piece, I would name it Raspberries. See the? It's almost like a white sun on top of a red. Today, think again. Outside. In a geode. In Tucson, Arizona, where I believe it was found in Pradesh, India. How extraordinary. You can see the crystal. You can see the. It's almost like a white sun on top of a Morpheus. Red, cube-like structure engulfed in this crystal-like geode. If I had to name this piece, I would name it Raspberries. It really did too much.
What? What the heck? Where did you go? What? No, didn't.
You're all in on ass. This is going to be pure money. If you go to the store and buy something, you're going to be spending some ass.
No.
Banging on the glass. In this crystal-like geode.
沉迷于研究各种稀奇古怪的仙术，其中在很久以前，
That cat isn't about to give you a side quest. I don't know who it is.
I've shown you hundreds of lingams on my channel, but this type of lingam, a lingam with a face, is quite rare. And it's even more rare to see an ancient Mukha lingam. Look how his nose is also deliberately destroyed, and his face seems to have some mesmerizing energy, like he's also shown with a third eye. You will find this third eye depicted on most Shiva statues, and when he opens his third eye, the enemy is destroyed and the world is awakened. Is it really a third eye? I've shown you hundreds.
I don't know, but him getting up and turning into a statue walking away is crazy. Alright guys, this one's extremely creepy. What exactly is he crawling into? Is the question. It looks like it's some type of alien tunnel. Where does it lead? Did you find the draconian?
It's time, weekday, time, weekend, and you have stock usage. Then you gravitate to the land where you have to have gravel usage. Then there's weeding. Then those are automatically, those are the lawn cutting shoes. Then you go from there, you go to just working in the yard. Then you get Then you go into, I lost track of that one, but now you get into usage, daily usage. Then there's work. Then there's, these are good shoes for, usually for church, and those are the weddings. On weekday, on weekend, and you have dock usage. Then you gravitate to the lane where you have to have gravel usage. Then there's... You're too late, Spider-Man.
I run a very, very strict program.
As a man,
only type of niggas I like is the niggas who see and do.
Yo, I bet you my man watched the Spider-Man movie, caused this explosion, and went to go buy that suit in order to do this I got you, my man, watching the Spider-Man movie. Caused this explosion. I went to go buy that suit in order to do this. I got you, my.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Mine.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
How do you diversify your assets? Fucking buy a bunch of shit and it goes down selling, you know?
Yeah.
How do you diversify your assets? Fucking buy a bunch of shit and it goes down selling, you know?
Yeah.
You want to be a baddie, but you ain't bad enough yet.
Fucking well. We all walking out together for the fight, man. You walk me out, who walked you up? Everybody from COB, we like, here's what happened.
It's 1705.
It didn't work.
Bankroll.
Junkie said the dough standing outside, we make a wait. Junkie said the dough, you pay up, don't make sure you straight, nigga, you a pay.
Attention.
That's why I love bread smells so good. That's why I love bread smells so good. That's why I love bread smells so good.
Money bag Gill sex.
That's why I love bread.
Money bag Gill sex tape.
No, you just go down that way.
I'm not stopping nowhere now. You can run my gas
I literally got out my lease, was not ready to hop in a new one, had to wait a whole month to get my credit fucking right to go get in a new fucking apartment.
Go with the rich niggas.
You think I'm gonna get a nigga in my apartment?
You gotta go to your face.
Oh, so?
What the fuck?
So?
What's worse? An apartment on your face?
You're worse.
You're an idiot.
I literally got out my lease, was not ready to hop in a new one.
Oh, you don't kid. Oh, man, hey, that's a quick lick. You know what we do in the South Side, man. I know you ain't doing no whole ass nigga. Hey, you know what we do in the South, man. You know how we put it off in the South, man. Oh, you don't kid. Oh, man, hey, that's a quick lick. You know what we do in the South Side, man. I know you ain't doing no whole ass nigga. Hey, you know what we do in the South, man. You know how we put it off in the South, man.
Him cut.
Yo, these kids is mad out of something else, niggas.
$7.99.
The closest that you ever gonna get to God is when you get away from all of this energy out here in the world and you find a suffice place for yourself and you sit and you pray and you meditate. That's when you're gonna understand who the God in you is. That's when you're gonna understand that you no longer need anything outside of you to move things for you. You can move things yourself. The closest that you ever gonna get to God is when you get away from all of this energy out here in the world and you find a suffice place for yourself and you sit and you pray and you meditate. That's when you're going to understand who the God in you is. That's when you're going to understand that you no longer need anything outside of you to move things for you, that you can move things yourself. The closest that you ever going to get to God is when you get away from all of this energy out here.
What you learn should carry forward. What you learned.
That's enough. I told you don't touch my stuff.
I'm thankful for how the story went, man. I wouldn't redo shit.
Later, Peter Boda.
Yeah.
Catch this shit up. I just noticed this. So Ray J and Floyd are talking, right? Dean is right here. There go Dean. No AB. He walks away without talking to Floyd. What? Check this shit up. I just noticed this. So Ray J and Floyd are talking, right? Dean is right here. There go Dean. No AB. He walks away without talking to Floyd.
All on the same day? Yeah, go. Yay! I did. Oh, nine.
My phone did.
Hi.
My phone did. Phone did.
Hey. Of equals. Today. The table card. Hi.
My phone's dead. My phone's dead.
Jack! Open it! Oh no! Go! Go! Here. 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 Ah! No! No! No!
Get the guy on my face on this. My phone's dead. Yeah, fuck you. Move.
What? No.
Shut up. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go to your mama room.
Go use the other phone.
Yeah.
You got two phones.
Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my. Where is that? Go.
Welcome back to another episode with Unorthodox Grower. As you can see, the girl is thriving. It's been about 5 days now since I flipped that light schedule to 12-12.
You love this man? What? Yes. I can do.
Welcome back to another episode with Unorthodox Grower. As you can see, the girl is thriving. It's been about 5 days now since I flipped that light schedule to 12-12. 12 hours on, 12 hours off, so that we can initiate the flower season.
What?
And right here you can see I'm just putting these stakes back down as the tops are trying to push up and out. However, I am going to be dropping in the scroll today, just so I can kind of get an idea of how much lateral growth I'm going to go for until I allow them to start shooting up through the net. But I mean, these things are thriving, guys. Even looking right here, that lime green beautiful tint right at the top, and the pure vigor on these original tops on the side shoots is cool to see, because while they look like they're overtaking, some quick defoliation that I'm going to be doing in this video, so you can see how I do that, will show the full picture. I even went as far as trimming back some of the lower growth along the new top that I couldn't even see because of all these big families. And I've been letting them go for a while now, because I mean, I didn't see rush and starting defoliation right now, being that she is pretty wide open. However, she is pretty low to the ground, and those leaves being that low to the ground, we got to be able to get airflow in and out and through. So, that is the explanation for all the different families. I've got a clip fan to the top right, kind of going right down, angle towards them, got a clip fan in the left, and it's just above the canopy. And then in the bottom right, I have an oscillating that runs back and forth across the bottom of the surface. Pretty much the full surface. Now, if you have an oscillating fan, please be careful not to let it get stuck in a position where it blows constantly on one part of the plane. So just make sure you set that up right. And then here we go with our power balloon, the 248 power balloon from Guy Green. And we're doing a molasses feeding today. Typically, I would do this in a gallon jug, but I keep this 3-liter jug around for my feeding because I don't want runoff when I'm doing my nutrient feeding. Only when I'm doing my watering do I do a heavy amount and make sure that I get that runoff to flush some of those things and make sure that she isn't getting locked up at all. And then after I fill her up with all of her nutrients.
Okay, we are back for another update on the 5 plants that I have growing in live-in soil fabric pots. We're on the right side of the 4x8 grow tent. For those that tuned in on last week's episode, we were on the left side of the 4x8 grow tent. If you missed that episode, I'll definitely have a link in the outro card of this video. Now, these plants that are growing with organic inputs, the 10-gallon live-in soil fabric pots, there's a couple things that have surprised me about it. And I want to go through that in this episode, along with just everything in regards to an update. We'll go over the soil, nutrition, watering, lighting, and so much more. So we're going to get into it all right now. First, I want to give a shout out to AC Infinity. They are a sponsor of the channel. They're sponsoring this video. I'm using their tent here, beautiful tent. I've got their controller, oscillating fans. We went over their humidifier in the last video, and they are kind enough to hook up my viewers with a discount code. You can use code MrGrowIt15, and that code works on both Amazon as well as their website. So feel free to use that code if you are making a purchase, and it's a few dollars off the checkout. Let's start off with talking about the environment. So conditions I have going on right now, it's actually pretty similar. I've had this door open for so long, it's similar to what my lung room is. But typically it's been around 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Lights on temperature, lights off has been between 70 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. As far as the percentage of relative humidity, we're looking at 66% is what's showing right now. But more importantly, KPA, so VPD, it's been around 1.2 to 1.4 KPA, which is pretty dialed in for the flowering stage. That's what I like it to be, which is usually in the dark green range according to the VPD chart. So we're looking really good there. So that's the environment. Shifting over to talking about the plants. I'm getting blinded here. I forgot to put my glasses on, so let me do that before I get called out in the comments. Let me scoot up a chair and get nice and comfy. We've got 5 different plants in here. They're on day 14 of the flowering stage, and we've got a wide variety of genetics in here. Some are growing better than others in regards to how fast they're growing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, starting off with Bruce Banner number 3 by Dark Horse Genetics. This is one that has surprised me. Talking about surprises in this video. This is one thing that's staying small. I didn't really know much about Bruce Banner number 3 prior to growing this. I just heard so much about Bruce Banner in the past years and a lot of hype behind it. And so I wanted to grow it out on my own. I didn't realize it was more squattier. Maybe it's just a particular pheno that I'm growing that is making it stay squat, but I was a little bit surprised about that. We also have the No Joke by Chad Westport. This one's staying pretty small as well. I guess it's certainly bigger than the Bruce Banner. It's close to this Lemon Mandarin, which we'll talk about afterwards. But this one is also more squattier, tighter internodes, which is actually a good thing in my opinion. These other plants I'm growing last week, for those of you who tuned in, longer internodes, real stretchier strain, probably going to be finicky towards the end of flowering, and the buds are on there, and they're so heavy they're flopping all over the place. This I actually like. Finicky towards the end of flowering, and the buds are on there, and they're so heavy they're flopping all over the place. Finicky towards the end of flowering, and the buds are on there, and they're so heavy they're flopping all over the place. This I actually like, where the plants are a little bit small like this, easier to manage. They're going to require less support as far as like training, particularly with that Bruce Banner. Now, if I had a chill out OG growing in here, it'd probably be the same size as that Bruce Banner. That is something that's in its genetics and how I bred it down to the F3s, F4s. It stays squattier, and that's not a bad thing. especially for those folks that are growing in small spaces, you want the plant to stay small. Freaking so good. Very stony high for me. Here we have the lemon mandarin. This is by 420 Fast Buds. I have to say, just to take some of these words out, this is actually a photoperiod plant. All of them are photoperiod plants. But 420 Fast Buds are known for auto the plants than the other plants that are in that same grow space. So really happy with how that's similar to here. But overall, everything is very healthy. It's like your typical fabric pot towards times is some moisture level in there. Super proud to talk about that. Years ago, I didn't even know that you could reuse soil over and over again for this long and as often. I did just for the rest of the grow. Now, this Organics Balloon Booster, so that's geared toward you can do the desired PPFD that you want. Now,
Boy, he is Swiss. He's a researcher, he's an author, he's an archaeologist. It's like Indiana Jones. Listen to what he did. He met with a group in Cairo, and the word had spread that they found something really interesting, and he wanted to get it off them. What they handed him in a bundle of rags would change the course of his life. He unrolled the bag and found a 16-inch giant mummified finger. You can even see the bone sticking out the other end. A 16-inch finger, they did the math, it would make the creature that had this finger be 16 feet tall. Disclaimer, this video is meant for purely entertainment purposes only, and it's not to be taken as a fact. This could be totally a hoax, but some stuff in ancient times about giants, it just seems a bit too... So, it may very well be fake, but if it's real, this is a giant, damn giant, man, 16 freaking feet, can you imagine? And this is a mural that was in a pyramid in Sudan, with a giant holding 2 elephants. It could just be cool artwork, it could be metaphorical. But all I know is the elephant's longer than 16 feet, probably, and so that would make this guy very tall. Maybe there was different types of giants. If they existed, they could be totally fake. Comment below if you thought you'd see a giant mummified figure on Instagram today.
Oh my god. That thing.
This man found something.
It looks real. 100% real. We gotta see that again. We have to see that again.
An archaeologist. It's like Indiana Jones. Listen to what he did. He met with a group in Cairo, and these guys were grave robbers, and the word had spread that they found something really interesting, and he wanted to get it off them. What they handed him in a bundle of rags would change the course of his life. He unrolled the bag and found a 16-inch giant
Josh! What the fuck is your problem? Oh, your ass. You open my fucking doors, nigga. Good night.
Now, and I know, it sort of looks like a big toe sticking out of the grass. Yeah. And then you're walking on the giant's big toes, you better make sure he doesn't start wiggling. But now, and I know, it sort of looks like a big toe sticking out of the grass. Yeah. And then you're...
That does look like giant toes, but didn't they have 6?
There's no human. We're meant to see. There's no human. We're meant to see.
Yeah, I think they found like a whole bunch of them, didn't they? Guys, is this one? Tell me if this is really not. Giant that they're doing MRIs for. So here we got one carrying bricks.
Animal Days are back at Tractor Supply. Save up to 50% on food, feed, treats, and more. Leashed pets and animals are always welcome, and you never know what you'll see wandering the aisles. Only at your local Tractor Supply.
Grumpy is a node-based interface that enables creative to have maximum control over utilizing AI.
The reason I built something that was for control and not convenience is because I saw like everyone is trying to build for convenience. So why would I do that? You have all these amazing people who contribute to the platform in different ways. They write extensions, they make amazing workflows, and then they share it with others. And that's how models who are already great become even better. There's a few things that decide if a community picks up a model and drops it. One of them is, can the community actually run the model? LTX is a very good model because it's very fast.
LTX is an incredible model in the local environment. It has a speed and performance like no others in the entire ecosystem.
And one of the great things with LTX is that they actually released the base model, which means it's a lot easier to fine-tune than some other labs which only release a distilled version of the models. It is the model that gives you the most control.
Imagine all you do is prompt LTX that, hey, I would like to have a racing game. The model starts to stream. All you can do is just control your input, and then the racing game starts, and everything is guessed underneath the hood. Those are things that no other model can do right now.
So I see Config UI as kind of a blank canvas, which means people can take it and can modify it to fit their needs, which is exactly like LTX. You can fine-tune it to fit your own needs. That's the power of being open.
We've seen creativity and creative tooling being constrained around a very small set of tools or companies and completely closed in the past 30 years. And in new AI wave and new AI era, we don't want the same history to repeat.
Open source lays the foundation, and then you can build whatever you want on top of it. When an LTX model comes out, we always have day zero support for it because it is an important model for the community.
LTX is a model that understands creatives. Typical visual or creative models understand research, but don't understand their user. LTX does. That would be my definition of LTX.
So it's something outside you, though, so you should get the physical body because the body to make you think that, it's something outside you, though, so you should definitely, once you saw our versions of aliens, because they're working about an alien right now, these scumbags working in the lab right now with a genetically modified creature that they themselves splice and they themselves have neural link inside of them so they can control the mind of that creature. They're going to give you their alien version, and you're going to think it's outer space alien. In reality, it's a genetically modified creature. There's going to be a new overlord. There's going to be a new so-called, you need to bow down to this newly advanced species. Nah, it's all fabrication, okay?
we were doing this. These are a bunch of giants that they have recovered many places, and they have a lot of mummies, giants, and some bodies wrapping, and it's all over. Look what you saw. Look at you see the fro in the head? And the reason why they're not disclosing the giant talk is because of race again. Race is the biggest factor of holding us backward. The reason why we're not evolving, the reason why we're stuck is because of race. The day and the time we no longer see race, humanity will be a type 3. We'll have a type 3 civilization in no time. The time we no longer see race as an issue where we don't value each other based on skin color is the time we will become a type 3 civilization. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So these are the giants. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. Because the giants don't look bad. The giants look like the people they want to hide evidence from. That's all it is. It's politics and hate. That's the game. The politics and hate keep the world from evolving. Because everything they hate is everything they keep facing. And that's the problem. And these things they hate is what they need to evolve as a species themselves. So for that reason, we just literally stuck. So we stuck as a species because a group of hateful scumbags decide to keep us in the buffer zone because they don't want to face what? The truth. That's the deal. They don't want to face the truth because their truth is what they want you to believe. Now, let me show you more constructions with these entities because a lot of these buildings to make you think that, it's something outside of you, your physical body, because the body does not have the magnetism frequency it needs in order for them to become that size. So everyone you saw that actually reached 7'5", 7'6", these are the people that were supposed to be 24 foot tall. But the level of depleted oxygen only make them stop from this area, and these folks end up dying quick too. And that's what happened. Ain't no alien built nothing. We did. Okay? And when you say giant, we're not talking about a different species. We're talking about another way of humanity. Okay? Another side of humanity. Humanity can get to gigantism. This is them carry those blocks. People like, man, these are 24 tons and 3 tons of these rocks is heavy. Now, you saw it right there. A giant carry those rocks. Now look at the rock size of the normal human. So this guy literally on this guy's ankle. Did you understand? Damn, so giants built the pyramids? Let me know your thoughts below. The giants built the pyramids because this is what it says.
At Living Spaces, we believe in bringing in quality furniture at outstanding values. That's why we work tirelessly to find the right factory partners to help you those pieces you want at the prices you'll love. Our latest collections include dining sets for as low as $4.95, queen beds starting at $195, and office items for just $150. We also offer coordinating coffee tables, end tables, and TV stands, plus free shipping as soon as next day. Style up and save big only at Living Spaces. Living Spaces.
Dude literally on this guy's ankle area. More like the calf. My bad. Not the ankle. It's calf. This is how big we were. Okay? So, ain't no giant building this shit. I mean, ain't no UFO, ain't no alien. We did. Humanity did that. And these people is a part of humanity. And guess what? They were melanated. Okay? So, we're not making this shit up. And for some people here that just wonder why I say this, because it's the truth. Look, this dude literally walking around with 2 elephants. Did you understand the size of elephant? Did you understand? Did you understand the size of elephant? How huge elephant looked to us? And how heavy that shit would have been when it comes to us? And this dude literally walking around with this joint like it is nothing. Yeah. Stop it. Exactly. Okay? So, We were in good harmony with them. Humanity in order, because it's still human. There's just a human that achieved the size of a titan. There's still human that still achieved the size of a giant. But nevertheless, that's human. We were connected with all of them before we physically.
Man, how do they have those giants in the MRI machine? Where can we look up that information at? How can we see the MRI results of that giant being skinned? Can we see that, please, Smithsonian? Pretty please?
Everything you've ever wanted to know about the Nephilim in 10 minutes. This is the book, the ultimate guide to everything you've ever wanted to know about the Nephilim in 10 minutes. This is the book, the ultimate guide to rebuild civilization. And you can see sacred geometry right here on the front. If it's not apparently obvious, while this is branded as a really cool niche item that holds the collective knowledge of all of civilization and technology in it, such that you could rebuild it if ever there was a complete reset, you begin to immediately see biblical imagery with goats and sheep, images of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, witchcraft-type rituals, and I know if you think I'm over-exaggerating, look at that witch hidden behind that. And little demons hidden on almost every page. What this really is the knowledge that the Nephilim gave to the pre-flood Israelites. This is the knowledge that ruined mankind. Here's what I think happened. I think a class...
Was that C3PO? That is C3PO. What's going on here?
Here's what I think happened. I think a class of angels called the Watchers came down from heaven and cohabitated with earthwomen, meaning impregnated them in some sort of like evil inverse of how the Holy Spirit impregnated Mary with Jesus. Their children are half-breeds, half-angelic seed birthed from the daughters of man. This is where all your half-breed mythology like Hercules comes from. This is where mermaids and centaurs come from, half human, half animal. What do you know? This imagery is all over the book. Animals merging with humans, genetic mutations. Just a coincidence? The hands of demons playing humanity like puppets. Greek mythology. Demons teaching mankind chemistry and astrology, working together to build civilization, and man summoning genies from vessels. The reason this is important is because it's a cautionary tale of transhumanism. See his leg right there being mechanical? It started off with humans merging with animals, and it ends up with humans merging with AI. Funny why this imagery is in this book. And the wives of the Watcher angels, meaning the women that cohabitated with them, who coupled their earthly husbands to go fornicate with the angel, which is a physical mirror of what we do spiritually when we sin. The church, which is the bride of Christ, which you're a member of, is literally fornicating against Christ, their husband, with the enemies of God. This is what James 1 is talking about when it says, you are dragged away by the desires of your flesh and then enticed, secondly. And then there's conception, which is sin, and when sin is birthed and becomes full-grown, it becomes death. The wages of sin is death. This is also what 1 Enoch chapter 7 is talking about, the same pattern. The daughters of man were dragged away by the desires of their flesh and enticed by the angels. They conceived, they had Nephilim, and when those grew up, they began murdering mankind. This is why God says we've defiled the wedding bed, that we're adulterers and harlots and fornicators. He's being literal. Sin is sex with dead angel babies. Tell me again why God's not entitled to be wrathful about this. He's merciful not to kill us. Look at the story of Hosea and Gomer. That's us in Christ. Read in Numbers chapter 5 where God tells them to unalive a baby of sin by drinking a cup of bitter water. That's literally a reference to God drowning the Nephilim, which were the sinful children of the Watcher angels and women. Here's how I think this knowledge got leaked into the world. I mean, just look at this stuff. It looks pre-flood. The wives...
Real quick, that was from Silent Hill, I believe. Yeah, the Pyramid Head. Yeah, that's Silent Hill.
My best kept secret for starting a business is LegalZoom. When I was ready to launch my consulting practice, I didn't know where to start. A friend told me about LegalZoom and how they've helped millions of business owners form their LLCs, file all the necessary paperwork, making things actually official, and keeping them compliant after lunch. Sure enough, I headed over to LegalZoom, answered a few easy questions, and in barely any time, my LLC became official. It was easier and faster than I thought. I'm trying to run my business, not learn the ins and outs of the law. I'm grateful I found LegalZoom to help with the legal side of starting and running my business, all for a price that's well within my budget. When you need a legal hand, turn to LegalZoom. Start your LLC today. LegalZoom.
Save time creating content and generate a high-quality clone of your voice with 11 Labs. Change the way you record podcasts, voiceovers, and branded content with the #1 AI-powered voice generating technology. Stop searching for the perfect voice and stop wasting time re-recording take after take. Try 11 Labs for free and start elevating your content today.
Well, I think this knowledge got leaked into the world. I mean, just look at this stuff. It looks pre-flood. The wives of the Watcher angels, which were the mother of the Nephilim, basically what Mary would be to Joseph and Jesus, they were the first witches. A witch is someone who conjures spiritual beings and nags them into accomplishing their own will. I think the earth women that the Watcher angels cohabitated with nagged them into giving this knowledge to humanity. Imagine these angels came down here and got their rocks off, and now they're in a relationship with this woman who won't shut up, literally nagging him to do things for them. Build us a city. Teach us how to make fire. Teach us the ways of the stars. And the angels are basically like, shut up, stop talking, fine, I will build you a city. Like, I think women just nag the angels into giving us this knowledge. But here's the thing about this knowledge. I've spent my life trying to obtain it. Look at all these degrees I have. They're just laying in a box now. And I'm asked all the time how I know so much about the Bible. Did I get a theological degree? And the answer is no, I never went to seminary. But a while back, I decided I was going to beat the Bible to death with my brain, meaning I was going to figure it all out once and for all and silence everyone. And I had the guise of good motives, I guess. I was really enticed by knowledge, like the tree of knowledge of evil. And this is the enticement of the garden. I mean, look at this. Look at what it says on the bottom. It says, hungry minds. But praise be to God, he stopped me in my arrogance. At the time, I didn't understand why God was telling me not to learn Greek and Hebrew. And it's because I was going to use it to try to cut the Bible apart with my brain. And he wanted to teach me to understand its wisdom with my spirit. So part of it is my intellect, my IQ, my photographic memory. Praise God for that. I'm not ungrateful for those gifts. But if you want to know the secret as to how I know so much, it is very simple. You have to crucify your curiosity. Stop needing to know. Fight the enticement of knowledge and put that crack apple of knowledge down. Turn around and go submit. Follow God. Seek right.
Lean not on your own understanding.
Righteousness, and then all of these things will be added unto you. You need to stop needing to know and instead do what the Bible told you to do. There was no theologian in the Bible that Jesus was impressed with. As a matter of fact, when you talk to Nicodemus, the theologian of theologians, the teacher of teachers, he made a complete fool of what he thought he knew. He said, hold on, you're the teacher of teachers and you don't understand what I'm talking about? How then are you teaching the rest of Israel? Truly the blind are leading the blind. God has never been impressed with anyone's theology. Rather, he was amazed by the childlike faith of the illiterate. You're just like a sperm cell trying to understand the legal system. There's no way you can wrap your head around it, but you can love God like a child would. And that's the secret. Crucify the intellect. Crucify your curiosity. Seek the Lord with your whole heart, your whole mind, and put your heart and mind in subjugation underneath your spirit. And then God will start to reveal things to you. These things I say, the parts of it that are actually correct. I can take no credit for it. It's given to me through the Holy Spirit. And anything I add to it, which I do all the time because I'm a wretch, and God help me for every single time I've ever done that. I'll have to answer for those parts on Judgment Day, for causing children to stumble. God help me. And so I can take no credit for the things that I've said that are right, and I have to take full responsibility for the things I've said that are wrong. And I live in the constant terror of that balance all the time. As for degrees, as for hidden secret knowledge. I tell you again, if you want to understand, not simply know, you have to crucify your curiosity and give it all to God. Your Father in heaven will teach you these things.
That was straight out the movie
the condo, wasn't it? I would be gone.
Placing a seed under your tongue before planting may be the key to miracle health and longevity. Now, this process is actually called signature planting, and it is said that when you place a seed under your tongue for 7 seconds, it will actually start to interact with your DNA. And after this connection takes place, it creates some sort of superfood based on your own genetic requirements or deficiencies. Now, what's mind-blowing is I've seen many testimonials and stories of people saying their grandfathers and their great-grandfathers used to do this before planting their seeds. So maybe this was just a known fact back in the day. And if anyone has any experiences or stories about this, let us know in the comments down below. And this theory certainly resonates with me, as I believe all of nature was designed with us in mind. Peace and love. Please?
Wow, that's interesting. You just place it in your mouth or under your tongue for 7 seconds, germinate it, and you drop it down. That sounds a lot better than, letting it soak in a paper towel with water or something. That's interesting. Let me know in the thoughts below if you guys did something like that. Damn. This is in Michigan. Water Elite. Passing by October 5th, 2024. According to NASA and 100 eyewitnesses. Did you guys see that? That thing was bright. What was that? Let's see if we can dive into that. Michigan meteorite? It is going on.
I felt stuck, and I wanted more for myself. I always wanted to help kids, and some days, getting older, it's just like I need to kind of focus and lock in, just taking that serious. Just want to do better for myself, want to grow, want to expand my opportunities. Because of Purdue Global, I can say that I did it. I can say that I'm a graduate. I can say that I'm educated. Purdue Global was a school for me. I feel like an educated gentleman. This is my comeback. Start your comeback today at PurdueGlobal.edu.
Michigan meteorite. So the comments are saying people have seen this in Ohio. Like this was seen from, all around the northern America region. But that thing definitely landed somewhere. Jump in the comments if you know anything about this. That's good footage, man. Look at the tail on that thing. Was this a ship? If you see the last two videos I was watching, I'm thinking that there was this fired from some type of alien ship. From the custodians of the Anunnaki. Don't get me started, man. Those videos mess me up, man. So I'm starting to think, what is this? Is this some type of special craft that's traveling in and out of our firmament, going to another one? I don't know. Said Michigan had a meteor shower. Here's some footage. That doesn't look like no meteor shower. What are they talking about? That thing was coasting. Look at this. Are you kidding me? They might be lying about these meteor showers, and these might be actual vehicles. For entertainment purposes, of course. But look at them. They're not changing trajectory because they got somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? They might be doing that for 5 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? Are those things possibly going in and out of the firmament, whatever those things are? Maybe that's why they burn up. Because they have to hit a certain speed to get past the firmament, y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm thinking completely different now. Ain't much on this one. Someone's dream captured a good one. This was a mega ship, y'all. Look at it. That thing is gone. That is going straight beyond the Antarctic wall, y'all. That thing ain't landing on Earth. It is going straight past. You know, it's a different technology, man. I'm starting to think these ain't what we think they are, man. We need a telescope to zoom in on these bad boys and see the technology, see what it really is. It has to penetrate the firmament is what I'm thinking, man. Can you see how the lyrics sound? Unbelievable. Guys, drop in the comments your thoughts. Think about the last two videos we watched and what possibly this could be. If you're just now joining me and you haven't seen my last two videos, you need to watch it because it's really going to open your eyes to like, man. The meteor that flew over Detroit the other day, here it is. Landed right here in the building. I don't know, bro. You would have picked it up or you would have showed us. I don't know. But it does look like something that definitely crashed. I'm not going to lie. This is in Bronson, Michigan. A green fireball. Unbelievable. I wish I could have seen it. Let's see if someone can actually tell us what comments are. You know, saw this in the sky over Goodrich, Michigan. I would be tripping if I saw that. Like, oh, I would be tripping. I'm like, what is that? Take me with you. I'm trying to go to the ancestral lands. Take me. This is daytime, you know. Where'd it go? You just look behind the cloud? This is wild. They are not telling us the truth about comments, guys. What are they? Pretty much looks like all they got for the meteorite in Michigan, that giant green fireball. Let's see if we can get some type of, you know, some type of answers on what they actually are.
Life can be pretty unpredictable, filled with good days and not so good days. And sometimes the only difference between the two is your level of preparedness. The Jace case lets you be better prepared for whatever comes your way. It contains antibiotics and other prescription medications so that you are caught unprepared. With the Jace case, you're able to get your prescription medication before the unpredictable happens, allowing you to turn those not so good days into great ones. Go to jace.com now and get your own Jace case.
It gives each kid the exact support they need. Are we talking about IXL? My kids love it, and research shows it even boosts test scores. IXL, the learning program 16 million students trust. Try it today at IXL.com.
And what do we see falling from the sky if they aren't meteors? Great question. Now let's get some scripture. And what do we see falling from the sky if they aren't meteors? Great question. Now let's get some scriptures. And I'm first going to take you to the Apocrypha, and then I'm going to find witnesses for it in the canon. All right? So it's actually fallen angels. It's demons that we see coming down. All right? And we just see them and look like falling stars, because that's what they tell us what they are. They look like meteors, and that's what tell us what they are, but that's not what they actually are. They're actually demons falling down to the earth. So now let's get some scriptures for it.
This is Testament of Solomon, chapter 24, verse 20. I therefore, having heard this, glorified Yahweh Elohim, and I questioned the demon again, saying, tell me how you can ascend into heaven, being demons, and intermingle amidst the stars and holy messengers. And he answered, just as things are fulfilled in heaven, so also on the earth the types of all of them. For there are principalities, authorities, world rulers, and we demons fly around in the air, and we hear the voices of the heavenly beings, and survey all the powers. And as having no ground on which to descend and rest, we lose strength, and fall off like leaves from trees. And men seeing us imagine that the stars are falling from the sky. Now I'll go a little bit further. But it is not really so, O king. But we fall because our weakness, and because we have nothing anywhere to lay a hold of. And so we suddenly fall down like lightning in the depth of night. And he set cities in flames, and the fields on fire, for the stars have firm foundations in the heavens like the sun and the moon. So that's very, very clear, and I see why they took some of these books out, right? But hey, the Most High said knowledge will decrease in the last days, so here's your opportunity to get that knowledge. So, but of course, it's an apocryphal book, right? Maybe it's just absolutely BS, and there's no grounds for that in the actual KJV. Let's get some scriptures. First, let's get a witness for the principalities, authorities, and the world rulers, and we demons fly around in the air to make sure that we know that's not talking about regular human world rulers like presidents themselves and kings and emperors. All right? Let's go here. Ephesians 2 and 2. And it says, where in time past we walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in children of disobedience. And we can know that these aren't just regular human beings, because they're talking about among whom also we all had a conversation in time past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of our flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So now let's get the next one for that. We go to Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That's how we know it's not flesh and blood that they were talking about. But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places up there. Now let's hear what the Messiah himself says about these things. This is Luke 10 and 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Alright? The same thing, that we fall because of weakness. Alright? We fall down like lightnings in the depth of the night. Alright? So now we see that this is demons that are falling down, but let's get more context. First, we see that the devils are subject unto us through thy name. They were happy about that. And he saw Satan fall. So they saw, people getting healed, but he saw Satan fall. Right? So just so you know, behold, I give unto you the power to tread on serpents and scorpions. These aren't literal serpents and literal scorpions. These are demonic entities. And over all the power of the enemy, the power of the angels, the demons of the enemy. And nothing shall be by any means hurt you. So now let's get some more context and more understanding around, is it possible that we can look up and see, and it looks like, a falling star. Oh, it looks like a comet. It looks like that, but what it really is a, being that's coming down. We're going to get two things. We're going to first establish, are they able to go up and down? Right? Are they able to go up and down? So let's first go to Job. Let's find out, is it possible for demons to go up there? Right? And, because this thing said that demons fly around in the air and we hear the voices of the heavenly beings and survey all the powers. Let's find we have witnesses for that in 66. Absolutely we do. We go right here to Job. Right? And it says, now there was a day when the sons of God, these are the heavenly beings, came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So we're seeing here, not only does Satan just roam around the earth, but he also walks up and down in it. So he can go up to the heavens, and he can go down in the earth, and amongst up, and go down into Sheol, and then come back up. Now let's see some more evidence about angels being able to go up and down from heaven down to earth. So first we thought the demons could do it, but remember, demons are just bad angels, right? They're just negative angels. So now, let's see other powers that have less ability. Go to Jacob's dream, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it. This is how we know that it's not just, it wasn't just human guys that are the children of God and things like that. How some people don't believe in angels coming up and down, right? The reality is that we see here, right, behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it.
That means creating relevant pieces to what's trending in streetwear today, creating products that are going to sell, and ultimately delivering to your consumer quickly and consistently. Which means you're going to have the trending silhouettes on standby, ready to go. For example, we all know sweatshirts are going absolutely crazy this summer. In addition to that, I have this amazing black and yellow baseball style t-shirt because in the summer people like to wear a lot of vibrant colors. Also, still staying stylish against the heat. You can see now we're here on the computer looking at the tab stitch in your face. Creating an account is super easy and it takes literally even a couple of seconds. If I want to, here I can come over to product and hit branding and I can add my own custom labels and hang tag to be consistent across all products and really give you that high quality brand look that you're going for, especially starting out as a beginner, for whatever you want to do. I never want to lead you down a path that I never went down myself. If you're still stuck on the fence about if using Tap Stitch to start your brand is the right decision for you, check out the 10% off link in my description to get your sample started for an extremely low rate.
You dream. For 9 months, you plan their arrival. From early morning appointments to late night care. From the moment you find out it's a girl to the first time you hold her hand. University Health is here for every mom and every baby to provide comfort and confidence with an on-site level 3 NICU and level 4 NICU access if needed. Advanced maternity care is here. University Health is the one for you.
Just to get a reference, just so you know, that word angel is malak. Malak is a messenger. And that's a messenger, representative messenger, angel, the theophanic angel.
He pulled up the blue letter Bible, but his brother ain't playing.
Okay? That's going on page 4397. So it's not human beings that are the sons of God referenced in that aspect right there. It's actually these humans right there. So now that the New Testament is starting to be accurate on the point of angels falling down like lightning, and those angels falling down like lightning that we see being demons, and also that Satan can go up and down, right? Up and down on earth, right? The demons, they can go up and down. They don't just have to stay down here necessarily. And then let's get one more aspect. Remember, when we're looking, we're saying, first of all, Jacob's dream, he was in a dream, but he was in vision, seeing these things in the spirit world, right? And however, is it possible for an angel to appear to us as something different or not appear to us? Can they change the way that we see them at all? Well, let's go beyond just them cloaking, as in like shifting form, but let's go to the fact that they can be right in front of us and we literally don't even see them, right? And they can change their form, and they can also be in front of us and be completely invisible. That says that they can shift the way that they're perceived by the human mind.
It says that Satan could be right next to you like a roaring lion at all times. I do remember that.
We go to Numbers 28, and we're going to go here. First out of 23. And the ass saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, and a sword drawn in his hand. The ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field, and Balaam smote the ass, turning into the way. Now, he didn't see the angel, but the ass saw it. The donkey did. Let's jump down to 27. And when the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, she fell down under Balaam. And Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. I think this is a really cool thing about the Most High opening up the mouth of the ass right here. And she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? So that the donkey literally could talk to her, talk to him. The female donkey was able to talk directly to her. Then, verse 31, Yahweh opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, and the sword drawn in his hand. He bowed down his head and fell flat on his face. So first here, we're seeing that an angel can be right in front of you, an animal can see it, but you might not be able to see it. Someone that's able to see spiritually might be able to see what those things are that are falling from the sky. and you might be right next to them and not see it. You might be right next to them and just see, oh, it looks like a rock falling from the sky. But that thing may be something completely different, or it could be invisible. Like when you get chills in the back of your neck sometimes and you feel like you're getting watched in your room, yeah, there's a beings that are there. You just can't see them. You might be able to perceive them spiritually with a different sense, your pineal gland, if it's active, right? But you're not going to be able to see it with your two eyes most of the time. But they're always there. They're all around, right?
I quit my job at LegalZoom to start my business with LegalZoom. So when my husband and I came up with the idea to open the non-alcoholic bottle shop of our dreams, I knew we could actually do it. When we were ready to go official, using LegalZoom was a no-brainer. We answered some easy questions, and they filed our LLC for us. It's been so helpful to have access to attorneys who can help with compliance, permits, contracts. So if you're ready to go for it, start your LLC with LegalZoom today.
Imagine your dream business branded in seconds. Any industry, any product, any service. With Design.com, describe your logo and let AI bring it to life. Explore, customize, refine, endless possibilities at your fingertips. From beauty salons to construction companies, every brand starts here. Design.com, your dream business made real.
This brother he said you gotta decalcify your pineal gland because, was it on the Sixth Sense where he was like, I see people, it was something crazy, But this is wild. You gotta think about meteor showers, man. So you got all these angels coming. So what, do angels just get created? How many angels are there up there? Because you got to think, these meteor showers, you probably see 50 a night. 50 meteors just getting burned up in the atmosphere. I guess that's the best way I can describe it until I get more knowledge. You see 50 demons just getting burned up in the atmosphere. So how many is that? How many are there? Are angels just getting spawned? How do angels get created? Drop in the comments if you got any answers to any of this. Please, we need to talk about this.
Some of that stuff, they can shapeshift. They can change their form. They can change the way they look. And they can minimize and diminish themselves. Let's watch this. Hebrews 13:2. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So not only could you have possibly entertained that angel unaware, right? Like, that person that you saw on the street might have been an angel and you didn't even realize it. They can change their form. They can look like whatever they want. Really, and they can be invisible right in front of your face and you won't be able to see it. One last quick witness. And Yahweh opened your eyes as a young man, and you saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire around about Elisha. Those are angels.
It's not like it hit me like I would expect it to. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep diving on this. And let me know your guys' thoughts below.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to do a really quick video on falling stars because I've been getting a lot of questions about them here lately. Well, for one, as I'm speaking to the globe Earth believers, you guys believe that you're on a spinning ball going through outer space. But also at the same time, you believe in falling stars. Well, if there's no gravity in space, how does the star fall? Why does it go sideways or up? Why does it always fall down? There's no gravity in space. Okay, well, for one, there's no space. Now, here's the answer for non-truthers out there. Now, the Testament of Solomon, just like the Book of Enoch, all these books were stripped from the Bible because they tell us what all these things are that surround us on this earth and what's going on up in the heavens and how everything is made. So, with that being said, let's look and see what Scripture says falling stars are. Okay, Solomon 1:13. And when they were gone, I ordered Uriah to be brought forward and said to him, tell me how you know this. He answered, we descended from the flying out among the stars, and we hear the sentences which go forth upon the souls of men, and forward to come, and whether by force of influence, or by fire, or by sword, or by some accident, we fail our discretion. And if a man does not die of some untimely disaster or by violence, then we demons transform ourselves in such a way to appear to men and be worshipped in our human nature. And in first place, this glorifies the Lord God. And again, that question the demons say, tell me how you can ascend into heaven, being demons, and amidst the stars and the holy angels intermingled. And he answered, just as things are fulfilled in heaven, so also on earth are fulfilled. The type of all of them, for there are principalities, authorities, world rulers, and the demons fly about in the air. And we hear the voice of the heavenly beings and survey all powers as having no ground or basis on which to alight and rest. We lose strength and fall out like the leaves from trees, and men, seeing us, imagine that the stars are falling from heaven, but it is not so deep. But we fall because of our weakness, and because we have nowhere anything to lay hold of. And so we fall down like lightning, and night, set cities flame, fire, for the stars and firm foundations of the heaven, like the sun and the moon. Now, did you pay attention to what that said right there? For the stars have firm foundations in the heaven, like the sun and the moon, which means they can't fall. They are firmly put there for eternity. Stars do not fall. Demons fall. And I just showed you that in Scripture. It's really, really simple. You're being lied to about your whole reality. And I'm trying to teach you the real reality. It's time to wake up and quit believing these lies. These people have been feeding to you for centuries. And what you got to ask yourself is, why all the books that we stripped from the Bible are the books that explain to us everything that's going on in the sky and what all these things are made and how they were made? And ain't it funny that all those were stripped from the Bible and the only information you were given about everything up in the sky and all around you now is given to you by NASA? These are not fallen stars. These are the demons, the evil spirits, bound here for eternity until judgment day. Stars are angels, just as Scripture of Enoch says, and that is why it's called a fallen star. And they even hide it in the intro of Paramount movies, the fallen angels descending on Mount Hermon. Check this out. The angels, the children of the heavens, and there were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the son of the prophet. And they counted as they swore and died.
How to design a PCB with AI in 4 simple steps. Step 1, plan. Describe what you want to build. Flux understands your requirements and maps out a detailed plan for your approval. Step 2, schematic. Flux generates conduct research, generates bombs and schematics, while checking in at key points to get your feedback and direction. Step 3, layout. AI places parts and routes your design with awareness of your constraints, delivering layouts you can edit and continue to optimize. Step 4, manufacture. Outputs are ready for fab, with sourcing-aware parts suggestions to reduce cost and avoid supply risks. Try Flux today.
Behind it sounds like your implications upon it. Anyways, everyone have a good night. Thanks for watching. God bless.
I feel like, yeah,
falling off like leaves of a tree that lose their power. And then notice how they said king, like they talking to Solomon, because you remember he had authority over these demons. Yeah, it's definitely got some validity. It makes a lot more sense. But it's like, where are they going? Is this the only way we can actually see demons? That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know, y'all, man. We gotta talk about this one.
Or heard a loud boom this afternoon, you were not alone. People across 6 states reported feeling the impacts of what NASA now describes as a meteor. And tonight, News 4. The sky over New York City already attracts plenty of attention. But today,
I don't really have to ever think about that in the New York area.
people were looking up at more than the skyscrapers.
You have to have one building that's going to have to be right over New York to get all that attention.
Scientist Bill Cook, who leads NASA's Meteoroid Environments Office, is talking about a fireball, one bright enough to be seen in daylight.
Daytime fireballs are fairly